Hey, it's CJ Miller. I'm in my apartment in Shreveport, Louisiana. So here in this bowl, I'm prepping a coating for some pork chops, and it's about 2.5 cups, give or take. I'm eyeballing it, of flour. You can use all-purpose or self-rising. This is a combination of both I had in the pantry. I just want to finish off. To that, I've added a fair amount of a good blend of Italian seasoning blend. Just kind of stirred it around. Then I put in uh, about 2 tablespoons, of monosodium glutamate. That's the brand name is Accent that I'm using. And then there is about the same amount of ground red pepper or cayenne peppers, and then of course on top is a little secret ingredient that I really don't talk about and I don't tell people about, and I'm not going to tell you, but it just gives an extra zip to a coating that I'm going to do. Okay. Sometimes if you want to add a little bit of something that's going to make people crave your coated food, your breaded food or whatever, you can add a little bit of sugar, uh, any form of it, uh, because what that does is that just hits the taste buds in the right spot. Along with all this yumminess, it gets to the brain and wakes up that uh, thing in your brain that says, "Damn, this is good. I want more." But I don't add sugar to my breadings anymore, and I haven't in years because too much sugar. You know what happens? You get onset diabetes, uh, and I have been asymptomatic for a very long time, and I intend to stay that way, so I don't add sugar. So this is going to be something that I'm doing. I'm going to have it, but I'm not going to have a lot of side dishes with it. Last night I was at a concert with my friend Lucy and a bunch of other people, by the way, and I got like, sometimes you take that dip in your energy level and you need that pick me up. So I bought some French fries, but it was just one thing of French fries, one order, which I split with Lucy. So I didn't really abuse myself and didn't looking at the the carb count. I did not exceed my 50. So that's good. So what amounts to like a small order of French fries or little dinner fries or whatever. These were thicker cut or whatever. It was fun. They did it, and I didn't do the. Um, I didn't use any condiments or anything like that. Condiments is a killer. You forget to include in the condiments. When you're counting your calories and carbs and stuff, you sometimes forget the carbs and sauces, even breading like this or whatever. You can forget to include that if you're really on a tight budget of calories or carbs or anything, and that can throw you off. It can just pushing you a little bit more, just a little bit more than what you're supposed to have. Like if you're like me, I'm supposed to stay under 50 carbs. So me getting up to like 65 or 70 carbs, you know, even that much can undo the work that I'm trying to do. It's still good to monitor and diet and work and everything like that, but just a little bit too much over can subvert the work that I'm trying to do. I want to be aware of that. I'm going to a gathering later on. There's going to be finger foods, but I'm going to go ahead and have some food here so that my finger food consumption can be on the lighter side. You know, but let's get in here. I'm going to stir this up, and then I got the oil heating up in the pan. I'm just going to like shallow fry these pork chops on either side. It doesn't take that much to fry some pork chops stovetop, so stick with me. Okay, so here I do have the pork chop. I didn't uh, do anything. I just have the pork chops resting in the flour as some of them are in the pan cooking. Okay, now I'm about to take this first batch, 2 pork chops at a time I cook, and I'm about to take them out and put them on paper to drain. I use paper on a plate to let them drain. Uh, you can use, I find that paper towels kind of stick And if I use like a sturdier paper, like maybe printer's paper or something, uh, it allows for draining without actually like, you know, bonding to or sticking to uh, the tissues. So yeah, everybody's got their things, their little tips, their little things that they do things a little bit differently. You can even use like a well, yeah, it's a good way to recycle. The only thing I'd advise against is I would advise against using newsprint, especially that has like color on it, because you can use that as a bottom layer or something like that, but you want something in between the meat and that, because the ink might transfer. Uh, wouldn't be that big of a deal if something like that happened, but yeah, be careful on that, just to show, this is a light breading that happens here. It's not too heavy. It's not too heavy. And I get about 2 of them in this pan. I'm about to take them out now. As with any frying, including shallow pan frying, what we might call panais in French cooking, panais frying. These are panade pork chops. I want to monitor the heat. You'll turn it up. Or turn it down accordingly. Want to keep this sizzle going. I got my oil turned back up, and I'm going to cover it. And I'm going to let it heat just for a few minutes to get to the optimum temperature. Whenever you remove food, your oil will tend to automatically, because I've taken the lid off and I've removed the pork chops, and so the oil will immediately start to cool down. I want this to be as hot as it can be when I put the dredged meat into the oil, so it will start to bond and crisp immediately, because there is no egg. I didn't do an egg wash on these. Give that a few seconds, up to maybe a minute or something, to come up to temperature. But I got like 1 egg in the fridge that I've been that's been in there. 1 egg. What am I going to do with 1 egg? Well, if I need a little protein at dinner or something like that, I can have 1 egg or something, But I'm usually like I'm a 3 or 4 egg kind of guy, Okay, so we're getting steamed up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple of pork chops in here. I'm going to get this covered real quick when I do, because letting that heat out, you will lose that heat pretty quick. These Gotham steel pans are great. I can touch this right here, not burn myself. I can touch this handle, not burn myself. Even down here, not burn myself. They cook very well. I can even grab this. It's a little warm. You want to be careful. Be careful about this. Probably a more shallower Gotham steel. It's probably, you don't want to touch it. But what happens is it cooks very, very well, but it will not retain that heat the same way like a cast iron. You would never reach over and grab the handle of a cast iron skillet while you're doing this. Never do that. So you see what I mean about how it loses that heat pretty quick? Cold meat going in, loses the heat. Got this up as high as it'll go. But it's going to come up to temperature again pretty soon. But you want to let this get really, really good and done on both sides. So leave it in for until you're sure it's done. These are pretty thick chops, probably about 3/4 of an inch. I'm eyeballing. I don't know if you know anything about men or not, but we can't tell an inch from a centimeter. There's an inside joke there. Take it as you will. We don't know an inch from a centimeter. But, yeah, want to let this stay in here and get a little doneness on the outside. This is not going to be that super crispy because I'm not using the egg wash. We just want enough coating on here to give it a little flavor so that we're eating something other than just a pork flavor. But it's going to be really good. I'm going to show you these pork chops over here when they drain a little bit, because as they drain, they get a little bit more, they get a little less floppy, and they get a little bit more, the greases and the oils and stuff like that, they get pulled back into the meat, and they kind of get a little easier to handle and cut with and everything. And they become more like the pork chop that we know. If you take a pork chop right out of the pan, it's gonna be have a little, it's yeah, it's not gonna be super firm. But these are easy to handle. You can flip them with the fork or whatever. I'm gonna tell you something about Gotham Steel. Uh, what I've learned about it, and I've been using this set for. Uh, Yeah, I'm into my fourth year. I just started my fourth year at this apartment complex, and I ordered these when I moved in. Uh, so for just over 3 years, I've been using the same set of Gotham steel pans, and I ordered it because the price is right. Um, no, they're not the top tier of every kind of rating, probably because they are Teflon coated, uh, and Teflon pans are not like the top. But I love them for home cooking, for sure. I really do. And it was a yeah, it was a bargain. It was a bargain. I think it was several pieces. There was some of because they count the lid as a piece also, and you get like some of the fill of this basket that comes with it that you would dip in here. That's turned out to be a big waste of bullshit. There's a piece of metal that sits on the bottom, and then there's a basket. So you want to do like a French fry thing or something. I don't know. I thought about, hey, let me try that. Let me use that for a little bit and everything, a dipper and everything. But it turned out to be basic bullshit. So you don't really have to get swayed by that into paying a bigger price. What could have benefited here would have been maybe a double boiler. That would have been nice. Although you can makeshift, there's stuff. Yeah, there's um yeah, you can makeshift double boilers and stuff like that. There's a collar that can be used as a steamer, uh, and everything like that. So it's very flexible. It's been good. Uh, Even though it was moderately to low rated, to be honest with you, I have found uh, it's a cookware set, and it's lasting me. I'm going into my fourth year with it. I think it's been a good purchase. Uh, right after I bought mine, my sister bought a set. She bought the stackable kind that can stack. She has that you can stack right on the stove. Uh, and those are probably the types that you probably could work and do like a double boiler setup with. I have to ask that or whatever. But that's for like steaming, or I don't know what melting chocolate or something like that. Gently making ganache or something like that. But you can do a lot of that if you're very gentle with microwaving. You can microwave uh, your baker's chocolate gently for a few seconds at a time, and gradually add uh, a little bit of butter and fold it in and everything like that, so you get your ganache together or whatever. Uh, Ganache basically is chocolate frosting, but a really rich, deep chocolate frosting. Um, a lot of people don't do it at home because it's really, really decadent, but you could. Okay, so yeah, let me put this on pause. Let me get these things cooked up, and I'll come back after the click, and we'll do a tasting. Although I've done very similar recipes. This isn't going to be a surprise. It's going to be delicious. Cool. I got some coffee brewing because I need coffee. And then this is going to be my meal for the next couple of days. Just pork chops. I'm going to have these ready. I've got two more that's about to go into the pan, and then I'll be doing the tasting. But on a dietary tip, what I'm going to be able to do is basically just reach in, grab a pork chop, kind of heat it up. And, I'm trying to be really, really good with my keto. I got to see a doctor on Monday. And I'm trying not to go into my doctor's office and my doctor say to me, hey, what's up? I thought we were going to work on your diet. And since you're not doing that, I'm just going to take you out back and shoot you like a bad horse. I don't want my doctor to feel that way. This is Louisiana. I don't put it past. But no, yeah, gotta have good humor. No, listen, I'm trying to be. There's a little bit of a breading on here, but I'm not gonna eat like a whole plate of pork chops all at once. One, maybe two at the bigger meals, but then one throughout the day. The best way to process food anyway for your body is to, if you can afford this, if you can do it, if you have the time, maybe instead of that big lunch break, uh, maybe on your 15-minute cigarette break or something, if you've given up cigarettes like I have at work, then what you maybe will do is you will just have like a, you know, uh, half a bag of peanuts or something like that, or a beef jerky or something. Whatever it is that you do, smaller snacks throughout the day, and your body will process it more efficiently. And then, uh, when it's time to have a sit down meal with the family or whatever, you can do that, or guests or whatever, you can do that. But if you can really eat smaller increments, they have recommended, uh, you know, uh, the dietitians that I've talked with, at least 6 small meals a day instead of the 3 big ones. You know, everybody's got different dietary needs. Uh, and consult with your primary care physician if you can. If you can't, reach out, get in touch with the dietitian. Uh, it's worth it. It is really, really worth it. I'm telling you, even though I do not have a perfect life and I'm not in the most perfect physical health, I get around all right, and I'm doing well. And I attribute a lot of that to um, medical adherence, but also dietary adherence, and also some physical, activity and everything. So you never know what's going to happen. There's always the unforeseen. There's always the stuff that the genetic factors that come into play and everything like that. But we can do a lot with we can do a lot with the food. Today is this month is Cancer Awareness Month. Uh, it's not just Cancer Awareness Month. They've told me that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And they gave me like a little swag bag where I live. We did a community thing, and they came and they did a little swag bag. I'll keep the chapstick, and these are going to be good to have around. Maybe our, there was some lotion. I think I gave that to Lucy the other day. But just little bitty things, to remind us to be careful. And the thing about breast cancer, we think about women with breasts, but men have, chest. We have nipples. We have breast material, even though it doesn't, function the same way as female breast and everything like that. We still have that. We're still subjected. If we had that genetic marker that predispositions us to breast cancer, men can get that. So men, be careful if you have if you feel any changes around your chest area. We'll say chest. We'll be macho about it. And this oil is ready for these last few pork chops. Let me get over there. Okay, last 2 chops are in. So, with the pan drippings and everything like that, you could make a great sauce, a good gravy to go over these if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, my idea is a good, light coating of, you can see where it kind of breaks a little bit here, but it's enough of a coating just to give a little flavor to the pork chop. And yeah, I'm kind of like hey, throw the fork over here in the sink and then catch it in a second, rinse it off. I'm a clean as you go kind of guy. That's why whenever I'm doing like a big, huge, like the last time we had a family gathering a few months ago, it was like I'm in the kitchen and we decided we were going to do burgers and hot dogs and everything like that for this. It's just, it was to honor someone who had passed on. It was a memorial, and that's what he would have wanted. And I just had my apartment just happened to be the one that had the room, so we did it over here. And so I'm at the stove. I got two pans going that I've got hamburgers going because I don't have a grill out on my balcony and everything like that, and I don't want to deal with the fooling with the grill or anything like that. With the grill, you can do like several burgers all at once, but instead, I had a pot of hot dogs going. I had some sausages going uh, in the air fryer. I had two pans that I was rotating out the hamburger patties, and then I had the oven going where I was like, um, you know, putting the buns in and giving a light toasting on each one, managing all that. So I can if I'm laser focused right at the kitchen, I can pretty much you know feed a restaurant full of people. I really can, given I have the proper, you know. Uh, Not something I'd want to do every day. Jeez, it's a lot of work. But the proper setup, you really can just get things going, your organization. And it was this is the thing we had. The nephew came over, and he didn't want. I think what he honestly wanted like some chicken strips or something like that. I think, or some chicken patties or something. But we decided, hey, this was a chicken free dinner because the person we were cooking for just kind of just did he loathed the chicken. So in honor, we were just, hey, we're not doing chicken. So I didn't have any chicken prepared, but he didn't want that the hamburger or the hot dog, the usual kind of thing. He's an elevated kind of guy. I respect someone who would at least will communicate and talk about, hey, you know what? I'd rather have this. What can we do? Uh, and he wasn't rude about it. He wasn't like, I'm not eating that. He was a very respectful young man, but we wanted to know if there was an alternative or something like that. And so what we end up doing, I found a steak. I had a steak, gave it a little bit of a quick little, 20-minute, seasoning treatment, little marinade, set it aside, let it marinate, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of this and that, set it aside, let it marinate, and then I put it in the air fryer until it got up to temperature. And when we brought it to the table, it was a little underdone for him. He's a well done kind of guy, so we just popped it in the a microwave for about a minute and a half and finished it. It really was a really tender. It was a huge T-bone, really. So it was like he and his dad and whomever else, if they wanted to shave off. The whole ironic thing is that hamburger is just ground sirloin, so or ground round, whatever. It's a combination of. But what I get the sirloins or whatever. But so my nephew, next time he comes over, if he doesn't want to have what we are going to have, I'll invite him to bring his own. That I'll invite that. Communication best happens in advance. But I think what it is I think they were going to come over, and I think they just kind of forgot it at the house. They had planned on bringing it, and they were even going to bring an air fryer. And I'm like, well, I got an air fryer. We could, we could use my air fryer. I got two air fryers, But yeah, so I got a smaller basket air fryer, and I think I'm gonna actually get a bigger one of those because I really like it for nuggets and wings and things like that. And yeah, I'm a kitchen gadget kind of freak. Let me go over here and turn these pork chops over. I'm gonna get back with you in a minute. For me, it'll be a minute. For you, just a click, and then we'll be tasting these delicious pork chops. All right, and so I'm about ready to taste the food that's in the plate before me. But yeah, uh, I'm gonna have a little game here, right? So at the beginning of this video, I put in the flour. I use two types of flour: the all-purpose and the self-rising, because I was just clearing out what was in the pantry, right? And then I used what was it? cayenne pepper, ground cayenne pepper, ground red pepper, cayenne. And then Italian seasoning blend, and for the salt, and there's no salt in that Italian seasoning blend, it's all green herb, but uh, for the salt, I used MSG, and the brand name was Accent. And then, of course, there was another ingredient that I did not name. My secret ingredient for this. And do you know what it is? I've used it in recipes in this channel before. I've talked about it. I am from Louisiana. That should be a clue. No, it's not hot sauce. it's the powder, that dark beigey grayish powder that you saw, that was right before I stirred up the dredging, the dry ingredients. If you know what they are, comment. We'll make a game of it, right? I mean, you're not going to win a prize, but what a delicious game to play. Now, let's taste the food. Aha. So, big mound of blue cheese. I don't know if I will eat all of this. I don't know if my appetite, maybe I'll eat one pork chop. Maybe I'll go back and have another. But blue cheese, or any kind of cheese, wonderful substitute for a side dish or something like that. If you want to have some carbs, you could take some blue cheese and toss it in some lo mein or something like that, or spaghetti or something. A lot of people think that noodles are Italian. I honestly probably think that noodles were probably invented realistically more in the Asian countries, what we used to call the Orient or whatever. I think it's still okay to address the certain geographic area as the Orient, but I don't think that it's politically correct to just look at someone who is of Asian descent and say, oh, Oriental, because that's realistically not their experience or whatever. I think that's what it is. It's just assuming that they're from that particular area and fits them in the stereotype or whatever. It's kind of like, I've learned this about people of a Latin background, and I learned this accidentally because I didn't know people who of a brown complexion, and I made the mistake one day of someone that I had made an association with, and we were becoming chummy, and I think I kind of said something like, I wish that we were talking about, whatever. And I was like, I just, the only thing I miss about, not really being multicultural is that I wish that I wish that I speak Mexican or Spanish or something like that. And wish that I speak Spanish, but I'm not Mexican like you. And boy, did he get upset. And he's like, I'm not Mexican. I'm Arabian, you fucking, and rightly so. I just, I didn't know my friend enough to know. And why should it matter? Because ultimately we're all American. He was an American boy, So, wasn't a boy, he was a grown man by then. But yeah, you learn these things as you go on. I'm sitting here nipping, just finger eating this blue cheese because, God, I love it. I buy this stuff in mass, Okay, let me taste the pork chop for you. Hang on. I'm going to have to pause this so I could cut into it. Look at this perfectly cooked. You may remember a few days ago I did a quick oven braising of a pork chop where I basically made a wet rub, and put it on the pork chop on a baking sheet or whatever in the oven. And this is kind of the antithesis of that, So you could do, if you're going to have a pork chop dinner, you could have pork chop two ways. One, you could do some of them like this, and then you could do some of them uh, baked in a braising or something like that. And if you're really bold, you could do um, like a really good stewed pork chop in a brown gravy. You could do like if you're going to have a bunch of people over, and I need to do that. I need to get to where I have a bunch of people over. I haven't done that in a while. The last time, like I said, it was for a family gathering, a memorial dinner. But I need to have people over. And what's fun to do is to have different courses, different. If you even if it's going to be all pork, don't cook everything the exact same way. Especially if you're in a small kitchen like me and you don't have like a big industrial kitchen. It's okay to have food prepared two or three different ways and multiple. Not everybody has to eat everything. I am a sampler. I am a taster. If I go to a buffet, all the foods that I love, I want to taste them all. But you don't have to eat everything. Uh, you know, but try to tell an addict not to do all the drugs. Well, try to tell a foodie not to taste all the food. But look how delicious this is. Okay, so this is a little bit bigger than a bite size. I'm gonna, for you, be gentle. Mm. Oh my God, this is so delicious. Tasting that blue cheese before I cut it into the pork, before I bite into the pork chop, basically almost acts like a palate cleanser. It cleanses my palate of all the things that I've been you know that obviously mouthwash and mouth rinse and everything like that. But it just kind of like prepares it lets the mouth know, hey, you're about to get some yum yums. Um, a good sorbet or sherbet or something like that would work too. But and I think it may just be the fact that the milk products actually kind of do that. So love it. Mm. Cheese, cheese in any form. It's just a great snack. Have some around. You get a little, start feeling yourself get a little hangry. Just grab a hunk of, like the old time for timer in the 70s. Yeah. Uh, Hanker for a hunk of cheese. You'll have to YouTube it. Timer, the Saturday morning cartoon thing that they played in between cartoons for kids in the 70s. Like a hanker for a hunk of slam and slice a chunk of a hanker for a hunk of cheese. He was that internal thing that let you know when it was time to go to sleep, when it was time to eat or whatever. Basically, your uh, circadian rhythm, if that's a word for it. I look like a great big giant gland. I don't know what the hell. Okay, so bon appetit and love and light. Bye.